Welcome, Diana.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today. So for those of you watching, I want to introduce the lovely and beautiful Diana Eskander. Diana is an expert love coach and international speaker, and she is an alumni of the Mind Rebel Academy. Diana graduated from coach training last year in 2019, and I'm just so excited to have you on here so that we could chat about your experience in the program. And what I find unique about you as a student, Diana, was that you were actually coaching for years prior to jumping into this training and getting like actual coach skills training. And so why don't we start there? Let's start there with what drew you to the academy and what drew you to wanting to kind of like develop those coach skills even further in your life.
Yeah, so there are a few layers to that. So I always knew or felt like I would do my coaching certification because like my business really organically grew and I was all in. And so for me, it was like a matter of, when it's the right program, I will join. And so I was researching programs. I had even researched, the program that you had recommended prior to the Mind Rebel Academy existing. And I just never felt it. I never felt the go. And I've been really learning to only move forward with when I'm truly pulled towards something and not with my logical mind. My logical mind said like, you should get your certification. But I didn't quite feel it until Mind Rebel Academy was born. And you and I had just collaborated on a retreat. Before that, I think it was like September 2018 we collaborated and the academy launched in 2019. And when we worked together, it was so clear to me that you were someone who digs deep and I wanted more. So like whatever processes you were using, I knew that with those, like I could take my coaching from great. I was already doing great. I was having great results and testimonials, but I knew I would grow from great to exceptional. And that's where I wanted to play. So it felt like an absolute, just like natural yes to just join and move through the whole program. And I am extremely grateful to myself for making that decision. I think my clients are too, because the evolution and the growth that I experience throughout the program, making it so much easier to facilitate that same growth in my clients.
And that's really it. And I think that's like at the heart of the Mind Rebel method and the academy. It's like the heart of what I teach is that as coaches, we need to have the tools for ourselves so that we are like whole enough and full enough and fulfilled enough and deep enough to be able to go there with our clients.
Yes, I couldn't agree more with that. And like it really opened me up to taking my practices, my personal practice further. And it's so true that as I go deeper in examining my own things and asking myself deeper questions, I can then like asking those questions and going that deep with someone else then just feels like such a natural extension of that.
Right. And it's also the ability to hold space for clients, isn't it? So it's like when we can actually when you can ask yourself those questions and let those layers, and sometimes oftentimes uncomfortable emotions and feelings and thoughts come to the surface to be examined. It's only when we're so comfortable doing that with ourselves that we can actually sit with someone else and help them to explore the inner workings of their world.
Absolutely. And I remember when you would watch my sessions that, I would submit, something that you had pointed out was that like my coaching presence was really, really strong. And I know that was something that I so much further developed within my time in the academy.
Yeah. So, okay. So speaking of that, Diana, if you could kind of summarize if there was like a moment or an aha or some kind of event that like throughout the training together that really just like made things click and fall into place for you.
Oh, there were so many. Okay. So on like a really personal level,
Yeah.
like my own personal journey, there was the moment where we did like your nature story. So
Yeah.
you took us through that exercise, and it was so profound for me to view myself like the water and the current, and to create my story around that, and then to share it with the group and have everyone's reflection. I felt so seen and acknowledged. And it's more than that. It's like, I'll use the word validation for lack of a better word, that like who I am and the way I naturally want to be is exactly perfect and as it should be. So like that was like for me a really deep moment, like a personal transformation. And then in the coach training, there were things around like powerful questioning and courageous coaching that really just helped me step into like being unapologetic in my strength. Like sometimes I would feel a little bit scared to be that powerful in a session, but it really allowed me, it invited me and like encouraged me to really embrace that part of me. So it, like, to me, if I'm being honest, it was like a culmination of so many seemingly small moments
Right.
that when I look back, I'm like, it was like one small shift after another that was culminating into this like incredible evolution and transformation.
Wow. And so what do you think that feels like? Like as you're talking, I'm just hearing the empowerment and the self-love and that just like all these things oozing out of you. How does that translate to your clients? Like how have your clients benefited from this?
Oh my God. So like I know that being in my presence is calming and soothing and
Yeah.
empowering.
Yeah.
So when they can see the way, and like I'll often point it out too, like notice how I just delivered this message to you with like so much courage and confidence. That's a model that they can turn around and use in their relationships and in their love life. And like they'll often say to me, like I channeled you in conversation with, you know, so and so today. And it's like I'm modeling what it's like to be in your power and speaking with love. And love it's kindness. It's not being nice, it's being kind. And sometimes being kind is direct and bold and courageous, and sometimes it's a bit on the softer side. And through the program, I really started to understand who my most empowered self was.
Yeah.
And it's layers and layers, and it's a constant evolution. It's not done. But as I continue to embody her and show up as her in my coaching sessions, I give my clients sort of the permission or the strength to really be true about who that is for them, and to do the same with their own language, with their own way.
It reminds me of that Marianne Williamson quote that's where she says, when you let your light shine, you unconsciously or consciously give others permission to do the same.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for people watching this who perhaps are coaches already with no formal training, or perhaps even just like tidbits of, training, oftentimes I get asked this by people who are coaching already, like, do I really need training? Like, do I really need to go through an accreditation process? Do I really need a year's worth of training to do what I'm already doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to get your perspective on that, having been launching your business and doing a damn good job of it, like of having no training and having your business grow really organically.
Mm-hmm.
I think, again, that really speaks to the innateness of your ability to coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then now having, the year of training, the accreditation and all those things. Can you speak to that a little bit more?
Yeah, I would like to, because sure, you don't, like, it's not required yet to have any formal training. And I certainly don't subscribe to like having to always have one more training so that you can feel ready.
Yeah.
But so there's a few things. It's like the formal training, first of all, the proper formal training, one that actually resonates with you.
Right.
What it really is more than anything is a deepening of your own development, and like, yes, adding so many more tools to your toolbox. So then you turn around and you're this, like 9 months later, a year later, however long the program is, after that time, like who you are at the end of it, the type of clients that you attract is going to change.
Yeah.
The way that you show up in your sessions is so much more powerful. So the transformations that you get are so much bigger, which means the testimonials that you get are that much more amazing. And my coaching practice has grown. I don't even know at this point, because when we first had this conversation sometime last year, it had grown by 500%.
Right. I would be so interested.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at what that is, but it's just like, if you are truly invested in your path as a coach, and even just to, you know, I see myself as a speaker and an author, and there's so much more coming. So it's not that coach is the only aspect, but it is one hell of the piece, right? Like it is a major,
it is the foundation of all the other things that
exactly
you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly. It's the foundation. So it also really helps to crush your imposter syndrome. It just does. Like, it's something that as humans, most of us walk around feeling, and just knowing that you have invested the time, the energy, the money, like your resources in diving deep.
Yeah.
The integrity is there to then turn around and be able to, you know, charge higher prices.
Absolutely.
And again, it's just a reflection of your evolution. So it's not that it's an absolute less necessary step, but it is not one you're going to regret.
So anyone listening to this who is on the fence, do I do this training? Do I not do this training? What would you say to them?
If you feel called to serve people at a really high level, take this program, because what's going to happen is you're going to serve yourself first. Like, there's everything about you is going to evolve. Like your mindfulness around how you spend money, around how you're coaching, around how you speak to yourself, how you deal with your family, how you eat, like all the pieces of your life.
Right.
When you deepen your awareness and your tools, and you spend months exploring and learning and digging in with like-minded people, who you come out on the other side of this will be an amazingly evolved version. And she is going to blast open the doors for the coaching practice you really want to have. So if you're on the fence,
mic drop.
Mic drop for sure.
I swear I didn't pay her or script her to say any of this.
It's the best. It'll be one of the best investments you ever make, no matter where your path takes you. You really can't go wrong with investing your time and your money and yourself in the program. Like, you will not go wrong. It will serve you.
Wow. Diana, it's been such an honor and such a privilege to just witness you in the last several years, really, because you and I were you and I have known each other for a very long time, but even in our journey of planning retreats together, and you actually were one of the ones that planted the seed in my mind after that retreat to start this academy and to start training people and to help me really, you were one of those whispers to help me find the greatest call on my life, other than motherhood, but truly the greatest call on my life, which is to train people like you and to give you the tools to create even greater impact in the lives of those you love and serve, because what you are doing in the world is absolutely extraordinary and so necessary. And I love getting to watch you in these, like in this next chapter of your life, when you've got this like incredibly solid foundation, where you've got the skills, you've built this beautiful coaching practice, and now you get to step into like your life's calling, which is like thought leader, which is international speaker, which is author one day, which is, how exciting is that?
I mean, sometimes I can't, it's not even, sometimes I just have to like really stop and look around and say, like, is this what I'm living right now? Like really and truly, that I get to, you know, have a session early morning and then take a walk with my son and then have a lunch and then go in and teach my mastermind and then plan my presentation and my talk and write out my ideas. It's just, it's full abundance for me. Time, money, love, it's all of it.
Yeah. And I also just want to congratulate you on, Diana has recently been selected as a TEDx speaker. Like,
Yeah.
how cool is this? It's all happening.
Yeah, it is. It's all right there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this testimonial and just spending this time with us. I'm very, very grateful.
It's my pleasure and my honor. It really is.